This one's got quite a schnoz on it, huh? What a sniffer. This is the Flying Caduceus? I don't know how to say it. If you were to make a short list of famous movie cars, this would be on it. Let's hit the road, huh? Bro, welcome to the Something or Other tour. We're getting wild in some classic cars. Welcome to the Something or Other tour. We're in Reno, Nevada at the National Automobile Museum. They call this the Harrah Collection. There's over 200 automobiles. Considered one of the best automobile museums of all time, ever, anywhere. I don't know a lot about cars, but I love cars, so I'm excited to get in there, see what they got. This first hallway has this amazing artwork. Dude, look at the lighting and atmosphere of this one. I love that. Dude, these are awesome. And right off the bat, we're docking space. Huh? Docking the solar system here. You can drive a Rover, for crying out loud. Alright, let's get to roving. Huh? Oh no, almost crashed. We're going 16 miles an hour, I'm booking it. Whoa, oh, what's going on? Did I die? I'm from the Bay Area, I gotta whip it. Oh no, oh no. Oh no, oh no. Absolutely out of control here. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Ah, no. Ah. Nothing I can do with that. Alright, I guess I'm not totally ready to be an astronaut. I need a little more practice. It's fine. No way. No way. A gold DeLorean. Are you kidding me? Huh? We going back to the golden age? This seems to be one of the shops where they work on the cars. I think they rent them out and stuff, so when they come back they have to like refurbish them a little bit. I never knew until right now that I have to have a gold DeLorean someday. One of the coolest things about this museum to me is they actually have almost like set pieces. So it's like a honest to goodness street here. Let's get this cranked up. This is actually how you used to have to start vehicles back in the day. Now it's push to start. Don't mind if I do. Good wholesome fun there, huh? It's too bad they didn't have the foresight to choose a different logo. Because that's not fun for anyone. Maybe the Crit company would still be around. They have this laid out with different halls for different eras. And you see it's like a street. It's got curbs, street lights. I think it goes chronological starting from this side to modern day over there. I really like how it's themed like a street though. Look, watch this. Standing on a curb, look. Yeah. Right here is themed like a blacksmith shop, complete with sound effects. And this is a 1902 Capital. It was almost like a prototype steamer. This godforsaken thing's from 1892. Huh? This thing doesn't know what's going on. Huh? This hall houses some of the oldest automobiles ever manufactured. A very impressive collection. 1899 Locomobile, huh? Right up my alley, $600 brand new. Dude, I'd drive that around town right now. This is a 1904 Renault racing car. It was $7,500 new in 1904. It had a whopping 14 horsepower. This collection is overwhelming. There's so many cars. This is a 1903 Cadillac. I had a Cadillac for many years. I'm a Cadillac guy. So this one's awesome to see. Although the paint scheme makes it seem like a fire truck. All these cars remind me of Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. 1913 Pierce Arrow. It is huge, and it was $6,000 in 1913. Manufactured in Buffalo, New York, right before World War I. Wow. These big open air ones look like such a good time. You could just get in here with you and your buddies, just cruise around. This 1911 Franklin is sleek. This Cadillac might be my favorite so far. It's gorgeous. This one's pretty cool too. 1910 Rolls Royce. It's like an early version of a bus. It's got so many seats. 1913 Stanley Mountain Wagon. This poor car is missing the front end. This cool statue of a race car driver used to be outside of Atlantic Richfield service stations. In addition to the amazing car collection, they have period garb, accessories and stuff like that also lining the walls, coinciding with the time period. Look at this widow guy, huh? Oh, how cute. Oh. This is a 1913 Peugeot. I don't know how to say that. I always want to say Puget Sound. It's a 1913 Puget Sound. Someone leave a comment. Tell me, how do you pronounce that? I never know. One of you Formula One guys. Look how long this car is. See how many steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 solid steps long. This 1912 Rambler was used in the all-time classic Titanic, starring my good friend Leo. I actually do love Titanic. I think it's a fantastic flick. If any of you watch Titanic and you find this one on screen, take a screenshot or a picture of it, post it on Instagram, tag us. I'll give you a something or other tour t-shirt. This museum is really impressing me. This is a 1926 Ford Model T, one of the only ones you actually get to sit in. Can't fit. You had to be a little guy to drive this one because this is all kinds of uncomfortable. This is like poking my leg. I'm bootlegging hooch. That's what I'm doing. Headed to Ray's Boom Boom Room for a night on the town. Hardware store. Huh? Oh, cool. It's like a real hardware store. How you doing, Tom? I need some tools. Right outside the general store, they got the fire truck parked, just in case there's a fire. The general store will be safe. This is a 1917 American LaFrance fire engine, built in New York. These set pieces, the extra attention to detail, to me really sets a museum apart. I mean, look, it looks like a real general store facade. There's something so cozy about these old classic cars. It says flower, but we really know they're running hooch.
Oh, hello, Ronald. How are you? Hello, Milton. This is Milton. How's everything? All right? Yeah.
Need to get a cab. Here in this middle section, time has passed a little bit. We had the Great War. We got some Art Deco architecture. Cars are changing. Like the golden age of Hollywood. This is a 1935 Duesenberg Replicar. So it's a replica of an older car at the time. It's a 1935 Duesenberg, but this was actually built in 1971. You wouldn't know it looking at it. And this replica was owned by Sammy Davis Jr. from the Rat Pack. I've always been a Sammy Davis Jr. fan, so it's awesome to see this. Think Sammy was riding around Vegas in this thing? Going to the Flamingo or what? The Sahara? Pulling up, valeting this bad boy? This Packard is one of the most beautiful blues ever. Absolutely gorgeous. Imagine pulling up in one of these bad boys with a dame at your arm, going to see a picture. Must have been a time, huh? My cousin just noticed that these signs going all the way down are showing what the old billboards used to say. So as you went down the road, like down Route 66, there would be a billboard every few miles, and they would complete the phrase, and eventually you'd come upon the ad it was for. Burma Shave. Ah, Ethel, nag, nag, nag. I love they have the old service station pumps lining this road as well. This is when road tripping really became a thing. I really love road trip culture in Route 66, and I'm a big road tripper, so definitely have a soft spot for this era. This guy has a Tommy gun just like me. Look at that. Right next to the general store here is an alleyway that takes you to hall number 2. I found Nemo. Oh wait, it's a car, sorry. This is a 1917 Cole. Cole, you got a heck of a car, I'll tell you that much. Everyone leave a comment. Tell Cole you miss him on something or other tour. Once we actually start making money, then he'll be around more. This was built by the Cole Motor Car Company from Indianapolis, Indiana. He didn't know how to run a business though, because they're long gone. At least Cole was in another sode, huh? Look at that old food truck. Wonder if they're selling like Korean Mexican fusion. All you gotta do is pick 2 cultures and then fuse their food together, then open up a food truck. Seems to be the formula. This Rolls Royce deserves a wow. It says this is an American Rolls Royce, manufactured in Springfield, Massachusetts, but it's got the wheel on the wrong side. They actually manufactured these in Derby, England, and Springfield, Massachusetts for both markets. Gorgeous. That's how you know someone's honest, when they nickname themselves Honest. This is a 1926 Jordan. Jordan was the first car company to advertise towards women in women magazines. This 1926 Chevrolet was used at Bill Harrah's Wilderness Refuge. It says MFL on the door. That stands for Middle Fork Lodge. 1921 Rolls Royce. I love the interior of this 1925 Julian. It was constructed in Syracuse, New York. I actually have family in that area. My grandparents lived there for a while. A lot of these remind me of the Main Street vehicles at Disneyland. Wild bumblebee paint job on this one. 1927 Lincoln. Looks like the Joker's car. Come out of the dry goods store, head on down the block, right past the saloon. Now we're getting into the prosperous 1950s and beyond, after World War II and all the industry it created, as well as FDR's New Deal, led to some of the most prosperous times for the United States. Although we still had such a long way to go socially, and still do, for business and for the empowered middle class, that time period might be the golden age, when almost every job could eventually get you a nice place to live, a nice home, and be able to raise a family. And get yourself a Studebaker station wagon. I'm a big Disneyland fan, so I can't say enough about all the extra theming and attention to detail they put into this place. It's like an honest-to-goodness Union 76 service station. Museums take note. This extra pizzazz adds so much to your museum. This is how you get to Gallery 3. Through here. Honest to goodness service station. Look at this 54 Buick, how beautiful. Could you imagine taking that cross country on Route 66? How fun would that be? Gold wing doors are so cool. So much in here. Do you guys know what that is? That's from one of my favorite movies ever, The Rocketeer. Wayne owned this 53 Corvette, and they have the receipt to prove it. I've always wanted to ride in a motorcycle sidecar. Never had the chance though. This interior is funky. It's like the Jetsons. This 1938 Phantom Corsair, super aerodynamic, incredible design. To celebrate the completion of the Pan-American Highway through Mexico, in 1950 they organized a race, and this competed in it. This hall right here is filled with actual race cars and record holders, or former record holders. Look at this 77 Porsche Spirit of Nevada. Actual race cars all the way down. This is a 1955 Ferrari Grand Prix body style. I couldn't imagine trying to cram myself into this thing. It's really cool how this museum goes chronological. Go through all of automobile history, starting from the beginning. I like when museums get creative like that and don't just shove things in. Here's Gallery 4, the final gallery. This is a 1907 Thomas Flyer. This actual car won the 1908 New York to Paris automobile race. 169 days over land and sea, 22,000 miles traveled. Wow. This is registered as a National Historic Vehicle. It was built in Buffalo, New York in 1907. You may wonder how they did that from New York to Paris. Well, all the cars lined up in Times Square. They drove across the continental United States, making his stops at big cities along the way. Eventually, they got on a boat in San Francisco, stopped in Seattle and Alaska, and across the Pacific, stopped in Japan, went across Japan, then back across the sea to China and Russia, all the way across Asia, all the way across Europe, and they finally ended in Paris. Amazing. This was the first jet propulsion land speed car ever. They got different dragsters, funny cars in the 60s and 70s. Sykes and Fredericks Fly Rod, Plymouth Superbird. Edsels were always beautiful, and Cadillacs too, of course. I'm super excited about this. A 1948, the only year, Tucker. This is the number 32. One of my favorite movies, Tucker, A Man in His Dream, with Jeff Bridges playing Preston Tucker, tells the whole incredible story of this company. Highly recommended. Preston Tucker was a visionary way ahead of his time when he tried to build this company. This might be the first time I've actually seen a Tucker in person, so I'm pretty excited about it. This beautiful Eldorado was owned by Elvis Presley. What a car. This one was owned by Frank Sinatra. That one was owned by John F. Kennedy. Can you picture old Blue Eyes cruising down the Vegas Strip in this thing? How awesome. One of my favorite episodes we ever did was at Dealey Plaza, where the tragic assassination of JFK took place. If you're into history like that, you should check that episode out. This is a 1977 Jerrari. It's a Jeep Wagoneer with a Ferrari engine. Here's one of the crown jewels of the collection. This is the 1949 James Dean Mercury. This was film used in the classic film Rebel Without a Cause. Alright, that's the National Automobile Museum. Way more impressive than I expected, to be honest. So much to see. The theming adds an extra element. You can really walk through time and learn automobile history. So if you're ever in Reno or nearby and you like cars, this is the place to be. If you'd like to help us along on our adventures, check out our Patreon. We'd really appreciate it. We also have merch, link down below. Check it out. Like, subscribe, share, do all the cool things that cool kids do. Something or other to it, or like.
actually looked like it timed pretty well.
That's how I film. That's how I film YouTube videos. Ready for the show? I've never seen a theater with vehicles parked up above. How cool. Look at it, it's a bus stop. You can wait for your 762 bus right here.